listeners to the Babe That's Bonkers podcast. I'm your host, Kaylee. So happy to be here. So happy to have you here. Super bummed that my headphones are covering up my itty-bitty space buns. I thought they were cute and fun for the podcast today, but low-key irrelevant. Honestly, I think about ditching the headphones all the time. They don't really feel like my vibe. I feel like if I were playing a video game or just like doing something more on the computer, they would be more of a vibe, or something with music, but I'm just talking. So maybe one of these days I'll just trust the process that the mic's working and ditch the headphones, but not today. Just know that I have cute little space buns and we're gonna have some fun today. I'm actually feeling kind of bleh, but very proud that I have finally made it here. Today's episode's actually going to be probably short. I know I say that sometimes and then talk for like hours, but I actually mean it this time. I don't have a lot to gab about. I really just wanted to talk about being burnt out because I feel burnt out right now. That's why I didn't really feel like recording. I've been procrastinating. My partner also sent me on a spontaneous journey, which I will get to at the end of the episode. But yeah, I kind of just realized, I have been wasting my time today a little bit, just procrastinating, which sometimes I think I just need a little bit of do nothing time whenever I just like do so much. Like I'm out of brain power. I'm done thinking for a while. It's hard for me to problem solve, create things, keep track of things, organize things, take care of logistics, and life's just been a lot recently. So it was nice to just have a slow start to the day, and now we're almost finishing the day, but we're doing the things that we said we would do. So here we are, recording the podcast. So happy to be here. So this is not my first time dealing with burnout. It's also not like a super extreme point. I feel like this is just like the mini stages where it's just like moments, days versus like weeks of burnout, months of burnout. There can be like seasons of burnout in life for sure. I just feel burnout today per se. I think it's because it's my first day off, so it's like, whenever you're running physically and then you stop to rest, it's kind of hard to get going again, versus like if you kind of like push through, it like helps you build up that endurance, and then you don't have to deal with like forcing yourself to start again after you've already started to like cool down kind of thing. I'm on the cool down, so like starting up again to try to be productive and make the most of my time off today has been a bit of a pickle, but that's okay. I'm trying to give myself grace. I need to treat myself with kindness, the same kindness that I would treat a friend with, But as I was saying, this is not my first time experiencing burnout, and that being so, I feel like I can kind of like backtrack how I got here. So I'm kind of just going to like share that process with you today and what I'm going to attempt to do. And, of course, we'll have another episode next week so you can see if it works, helps, or not. But yeah, first, I do think I'm kind of burnt out because my routine was goofed up a bit. I'm very much a morning person. I go to bed fairly early, and just because of some work stuff, some very, very fun work stuff, I will say, that's made life kind of exciting at the same time. But that's where, things just get a little bit tricky, is there's things I have to do, things I want to do, but things that don't necessarily align with my regular routine. And like when my routine's thrown off, then I'm having a more difficult time just like meeting my basic needs, like sleep. Specifically, that is the one that has been lacking the most these days, it seems. But that's, just because I've had some late nights, some late drives, working some fun events, a concert, a little shindig. It's been cool. But anywho, it's just caused me to like stay up way, way, way later, like hours later than I normally do, and like then sleep in later, which I really like to just like be awake and go to sleep with the sun. I feel like that's very natural, like not exactly, but kind of along those lines. So like forcing myself to sleep in so I can try to get like enough sleep hours wise, was also challenging, just because like it's light out and my dogs are normally like up and out and about. My partner's up and going to work and all these sorts of things. So like the routine has just been a bit goofed up, and that just happens sometimes in life. I'm really trying to like roll with the punches a bit and not get super frustrated with it, because this is just like my reality. So like why try to defy it whenever I can try to learn how to adapt to it. I don't have a solution to that yet, per se, but that's just, where I'm trying to, guide my thoughts towards these days. Something I have, however, also been frustrated with is that I feel like I don't have enough time to work on all of my different creative projects and other goals that I have in my life. Time and resources, really. Those are the two most challenging things, time and time again. And it's frustrating because, again, it can just be reality at this time, and I feel like I just need to be patient. There are just steps that need to be taken before I can start living a certain kind of lifestyle, the lifestyle that I really truly desire. And I understand that, but I'm also really impatient because I don't want to waste my life doing things I don't enjoy doing. I don't want to live a life that is, just dictated by things I have to do because society says so bullshit. I don't know, that just rubs me the wrong way. I have such a hard time with it, and I do understand to a degree that that's just the way things are sometimes, and I am working as hard as I can, doing what I can control in the moment to get myself towards that life where I don't have to necessarily live along society's guidelines kind of thing, but we're not there yet, and it's frustrating because I just want to spend all of my life taking care of myself and the people I love and my home, and seeing and exploring and doing cool things in new places, and creating art and consuming art and eating food and making food and all the wonderful, beautiful things that life has to offer. And all the other stuff I really couldn't care less about. So forcing myself to do it because I just have to sometimes is quite the challenge. But it is reality for a young person in their 20s just trying to figure their shit out. The third thing that I think has also been contributing to my sense of burnout is that I've been socializing and connecting with people a lot more. I think that's been kind of a theme the past few episodes that I've brought up, and it really has been delightful in so many ways. I love my friends, and I love the things we do together and the quality time that we get to share with one another, but I am just not an extrovert in that way. I recharge, I feel most comfortable alone, including my partner, my family, people that I love very dearly and love to spend lots of time with. To truly recharge, I need to be alone, and I've just been around people all the time, and again working a bunch of different events and concerts and things like that have been super duper cool, but there have been lots of crowds, and I feel just doing those things where there's a lot of people around me, it has just been kind of draining in a way. I think that things can be enjoyable and draining at the same time. I can want to be there, I can find fun in it and things to appreciate, and it can also just take up energy of mine, and that's okay. Sometimes I feel negative feelings can't coexist with positive ones, but they absolutely can, and I feel that's kind of where I've been at. So, I need some more breaks. I need to spend some more time with myself, actual real quality time. Today I feel it was just kind of mindless autopilot time at times, but then I was actually out and about in town, window shopping, and that kind of felt like it was for me a little bit. I'll just bring it up now. I went to World Market just because it was next to the errand that my partner sent me on, and they were doing an egg hunt where you could win coupon money. I don't know. I did not find the egg, but I did indeed walk around for a couple hours, just looking at everything, touching everything. I do really love just getting to feel the different textures of things. So the fact that it was an egg hunt and it was just everyone was touching things, picking things up, even if it seemed breakable or whatever. I didn't break anything, by the way. But that was just nice. I felt it was just nice to be allowed to fidget and be free about it, and to also just do it responsibly, to prove that I can handle that kind of freedom, and all the things there were just so cute and adorable. I I did indeed buy some things unintentionally, some impulse buys, but most of it was on sale. So there's a win there, and it really wasn't anything crazy. But you know how those unplanned purchases can go. But I got this really cute salt and pepper shaker set that was like a snail and a frog, two of my favorite animals. I was thinking as I was walking through there, like, I must have like lived near, you know, a swamp or like something like that, because frogs, dragonflies, snails, like these are just the creatures that I really, really love. I do love other animals as well, but you know, I just enjoy those three particularly. So they're very nostalgic for me. So those salt and pepper shakers were just like a really fun find, along with like a couple other things, like a little pasta tote bag that has like a divider and a pocket, you know, like a grocery bag, but it was just better than the average tote bag. And my dad had gotten me a tote bag. I think was it for my birthday last year? Maybe for Christmas, one of the holidays. He sent me something, and I've been using that a lot more recently, and it's just been nice. So I'm just like, let's add it to the collection. I think it'll be nice to start like actually grocery shopping with it. Like, I have been throwing away a lot of plastic bags recently. Haven't been a big fan of that. But that's the difference about living in Arizona versus California, is you don't have to pay for your bags. They're just given to you. That's not something I was aware of when I first moved here. I remember like freaking out whenever they started like bagging my stuff, and they're like, whoa, like what's going on? I'm like, I'm not paying like 10 cents for all of those. Like, put those back. I'm a college student now. Like, I gotta save up kind of thing. And they're like, don't sweat it. Just take your stuff in the bags. Like, you don't have to pay for them. And that's how it goes here. But anywho, back to the point, when it comes to socializing, I've definitely realized that I do need it, and it has been a wonderful reminder of just like the support system I do have. I've got some great friends, and that's a really lovely thing to be able to say. But I do need some breaks from just like humankind in general, and that is going to be a priority once I get through the next few events I have planned for. It's just the season, and then we're gonna have some chill time when we get to next month. But again, that's just like how the cookie's crumbling. That's life right now. So I'm just trying to take care of myself in between the best I can. But it's also more challenging whenever I am kind of just like extra depleted. And it's interesting because I'm not actually working more hours, but it's just like more intense, I guess, more intensive, I guess, and just like the routine disruption again. But moving on to what I'm actually going to attempt to do to like take care of myself and like recover from this little burnout busy season I'm going through. First up, taking care of the body. You know, I had that little episode that was about just like meeting your basic needs, and that's really what I'm leaning on. I'm very proud of myself that I was super duper healthy whenever I was grocery shopping. It's been very frustrating, but like I had no choice but to eat like I will say some chicken nuggets, but like that's just all protein, and then also just like a salad with like some tomatoes and carrots and just like all these different like singular ingredients. You know, it wasn't a salad kit that I just had in the fridge, and I tossed it together, and it was actually really good. And you know, it was very satiating. I know it was healthy. I know I'm like getting my vitamins, and I have been feeling a lot better now that I've been buying more produce to like snack on specifically. I feel like for a while we were just eating a lot of like processed snacks, like the healthier version of like chips and granola bars and stuff like that. But you know, these days we've just been eating some more like raw fruits and vegetables, the actual really, really fresh stuff. And I do feel a difference in my energy levels and all that jazz. So that's been a good thing. I could be moving my body more, just going outside, going for some walks, maybe with the doggos, just like stretching and stuff. I go through ebbs and flows and whatnot, but definitely could just like do that more. My job requires me to like stand a lot, so I do get just like tired, but I'm also not like really moving and like strengthening my body the way I feel like I should as like a human being. So yeah, that's on the to-do, a tool I could potentially, hopefully will use. I know I keep like winking a lot. I don't have like a twitch or anything. I just feel like it. It's like the hand gestures I'm using, the facial expressions just go along with it. But I don't know, I feel like I'm doing like weird stuff today. But anyhow, moving on, resting, recharging are just like the themes that include just like allowing myself to take naps and sleep in if my schedule, you know, does allow it, and just like chilling when I feel like I need it. I feel like that sounds like so silly and obvious, but I feel like our society doesn't really like make room for that kind of thing. It makes us all seem like pansies and whatever. And I don't believe in that. I feel like we're meant to be active sometimes and to be restful sometimes. And that is just the flow of like life forms itself. You know what I mean? Like our animals do it, the plants do it, the planet does it with like night and day and all that jazz. So like lean into it kind of thing. And when it comes to recharging, like I have gotten to know myself pretty well and like what actually makes me feel better. So like spending time alone, time outside specifically, kind of cleaning my space, a clean space leading to a clear mind. I think I did mention that a lot, quite a bit. I think last episode just talking about all the spring cleaning and that jazz. But we have been doing a bit of a little like refresh. We've been like swapping out our closets. It's definitely pretty much just like summer vibes here in Arizona. Luckily, the nights and evenings and mornings are still pretty cool, but the days are definitely nice and sunny and toasty. Looking forward to the monsoon creeping in to like cool things off. And the lighting shows are also very, very fun. But yeah, just like continuing to clean my space, declutter and stuff like that, I think will help a lot with, just like how I'm feeling. I think the environment that you exist in just like has a lot of impact on you. So I want to improve that in whatever ways I can. And as I was saying, like when it comes to spending time alone and outside, I think I'm just ready to go on like another nature photography walk. Like I really, really love nature, wildlife, landscape photography. That is kind of like my true passion when it comes to camera work. I have definitely like taken pictures of people, humans before, and it is fun. I do enjoy it whenever I know the person, but I really don't want to like lean into that as a career per se too much, because I don't want it to like ruin my love for wildlife photography. And I feel like there's just like a zenness to it. It's like bird watching, and you get lucky, and these moments are super duper special, and it's just like so peaceful sitting outside and just like being silent, so you can just like let nature do its thing, so you can capture nature being nature, life being life kind of thing. And I could just use a day like that, I think. And if I feel like that, I probably do, and I should lean into those thoughts. I think that's something that's important. Like yesterday I was really craving a burger, and it's probably because I could use like the iron and the protein. So we had burgers for dinner. And burger might not be the healthiest form of that, but I think just like trusting your gut, like literally and metaphorically, like your body is usually trying to like communicate to you what it needs in some way, shape, or form. It's just a matter of like learning how to read that. Very, very similar to whenever you're growing plants, like they call like reading the leaf, like being able to determine like what nutrient or mineral deficiency the plant may be suffering from, or some other type of like viral infection or disease or pest bug damage kind of thing. All these different things just like affect like the leaf or the stem or the plant in different ways, and being able to like identify that can be huge in like figuring out how to like solve your problems kind of thing. And we as humans do the same thing, and it can be really confusing and really challenging to like figure out how all that works, because we're all unique and all that jazz. But I am a believer that at a certain point, these thoughts pop in your head, like, I should do this would make me feel good. And like when those thoughts happen, like lean into them, give them energy, give them life, make the plan, do the thing. So I'm in the process of, I've had the thought, now I got to make the plan, and we're going to do the thing very soon and see if it works. It makes me feel better, because that burger last night did make me feel better. It was very satiating. It was in and out. So, the ingredients are pretty fresh. Like the lettuce is crunchy and all that jazz. Kind of balanced, with there's some bread, meat, cheese, lettuce, tomato, veggies, protein, carb, whatever. Anywho, but I definitely felt better, satisfied, no longer hangry, solved my problems. So hopefully taking care of myself, allowing myself to recharge in the way I know works for me, will allow me to not get super duper burnt out, perhaps. It's just a few days I can manage, but I don't want to let this like snowball into a season. Another thing that I think has really just been like holding me together, that I need to lean into even more, is music. I sometimes forget to listen to music. I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I think I'm just trying to like distract myself from like my overwhelming intrusive thoughts. Like, not that my thoughts are always negative, but I have a lot of them cycling through of all these to-dos, all these things to worry about, all these things to do. So many things on my mind all the time. And listening to podcasts, allows me to like immerse myself into someone else's story for like a little bit and distract myself, and that's great. But music has like a different power to it, and I don't know. I was in choir for a long time, band for an even longer time. So music is just something that has just like played a huge role in my life, and I kind of haven't given it enough credit, I don't think, in how it's like helped me like maintain happiness in many ways. I think music just has this like special power that allows you to feel things and express things in a way that's unlike any other. Maybe similar to like working out, it's like an outlet to a degree, but I don't know. I've just been listening to some new music, finding new songs, and just like reintroducing myself to older songs, but like learning them and like actually singing them, allowing myself to sing them. I have stage fright a little bit. I even feel embarrassed just like saying like, oh, I was in choir and band, and like I love music and I love to sing and like all these things, because now I feel like you expect me to sing to prove to you that like I'm good enough, and that is like my worst nightmare. So I don't like talking about it. I don't like doing it. So especially living with a partner now, it's not something I do as often as I did whenever I like lived alone and stuff like that. And it's something I'm trying to do more because he says he likes it. I'm not bad, I don't think, and I think he likes to see me having fun in that way. And yeah, so that's just something that I think has been like helping me, and I very much like nerd out. I think part of the reason why I get embarrassed as well is because like when it comes to music, I kind of like hone in sometimes. Like I have definitely been listening to the same song over and over and over again so I can learn it, and that can be annoying to some people, and I just don't want to like interrupt anyone's like enjoyment of life or anything like that. I don't want to be too inconvenient and whatever, but in my own home I should be allowed. And I've also just been like picking music instead of a podcast like in the car and stuff like that, rather than just kind of like searching and listening to something that I don't really care about, instead of just like putting on some music and vibing. And I feel like it makes me sound crazy that I like forget to listen to music sometimes, especially because it was such a huge piece of my life, is such a huge part of my life. But that's just like how my brain works sometimes. It like forgets like the tools that I do have at my disposal that like bring me immense joy and challenge me and make me feel things. Like sometimes like listening to a sad song when I'm sad just like makes me feel understood. It makes me feel so much better. And yeah, that's just been a wonderful thing that I'm leaning into more and more every day. I think one of these days I might even challenge myself and go out and do karaoke. I sang at karaoke once with a friend. Doing it with a buddy always makes it a little bit less scary, but I think that like that could be my next like challenge as an adult, like stepping out of my comfort zone kind of thing. But we'll see. Don't hold me to that one, okay? We'll see what the future has in store. But yeah, last little thing is I just want to talk about my attempts to just like be zen and be calm and let go of the things I cannot control, focus on the things that are in my power to control, and like work towards my goals and all that jazz. And when it comes to the podcast, I'm kind of thinking about letting go of like planning episodes and just going off of vibes, because like today I'm just a little burnt out, so I'm just feeling a little bit rambly. I just wanted to sit down so I can hold myself accountable and also like have a little bit of honest chit chatter with you as well. And I know that I talked about 2 different episode ideas, and I'm doing neither of them today. And that's just how the cookie's crumbling, and frankly, I don't think you care that much. I don't really care that much. I don't know why I'm trying to like hold myself to this like specific standard. It could even be more fun that like every week's just like a surprise and all that jazz. I have this idea list that I'm going off of, and every time I like go to it, I'm like adding new ideas instead of checking old ones off kind of thing. So I don't know. I think we're just gonna go off of vibes from now on, and I think that'll just like help me detach from like expectations and stuff like that, which is good for me. Relinquishing control and all that. And with relinquishing control, I'm also trying to do a better job of reminding myself of all the things that are in my control, like I was just saying before. But, it really just goes back to be as you wish to seem. If you want to be a podcaster, make a podcast. If you want to be a musician, make music. If you want to be an artist, make art. If you want to be a gardener, make a garden. Learn about the thing. Do the thing. We can literally do absolutely anything we want to. We can change our mind absolutely whenever we want. All we have to do is make an effort. And something I've really been thinking about in regards to like effort and hard work and all of that is just like taking my craft more seriously. I feel like I have been so nervous to start all these creative projects of mine, and I eventually just got to this point where I was just like, I have to let go of my perfectionism, because if I'm waiting for myself to like be perfect before I like actually put the thing out there, then I'm just gonna allow myself to procrastinate forever and I'm never gonna like do the thing. So I started doing the things imperfectly and putting myself out into the world and getting into the groove of things, and I feel like that's where I've been at for a while, and I'm ready to like hone in the craft so I can start leveling up. I feel like I have a groove, like with the podcast, with my art stuff especially. That's mostly what I've been like thinking of, what I want to like practice with. Like I have all these ideas, I have all these different art styles, I have these like series that I've been working on, and I had these like insecure thoughts and moments that I was sharing before about them, and I'm just like at this point now that I'm just like, I just need to practice. Like I'm such an itty bitty wee baby on my artist journey. Like it's amazing that I'm just like actually trying and actually doing things, and it's cool that I'm like putting myself out there from the get-go, from the very beginning, to like try to build a community and share my journey like as a beginner and amateur and all that. Like I'm not trying to like come off as some sort of professional, but I am serious and I am an artist and all of that. Like it's true because I'm doing it. You know what I mean? But I do want to be better at the things that I'm doing, and I'm so excited to practice. And I feel like that's why I'm so frustrated about like lacking the time and resources, like I was saying earlier, is because I am just so ready to just dive in and devote more time to the things that I love and care so deeply about and like want to improve upon. But that's just like not the season of life that I'm in right now. And I feel like I hear of like a lot of other artists struggling with that as well on the internet, and just like other people that eventually want to like turn their hobbies and side hustles into careers and small businesses, just like do things for themselves rather than like working for the man per se. And I really feel like that's what's wrong with our society. Like it's so built around just like getting a job, working for some corporation and whatever, rather than just like honing in our talents and our desires and like devoting our lives to that and like sharing those things and making livings from those things, and I don't know, even if that's not what like society's built for, like I'm gonna live my life however I want to live it, and I'm gonna figure it out however way I can. And it might just like suck for a little bit right now in different ways, and I'm gonna be tired sometimes, and that's just how the cookie crumbles. But I do have beautiful things. Maybe that's also something I need to do to like help me get in my burnout res. Just practice a little bit more gratitude and focus on the things that I do possess and be grateful for the season of life that I'm in. That is kind of a theme I've been seeing pop up a lot recently. Two quotes. One is just like, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time to plant a tree is today. So just start working on the things. I feel like that's been on my mind a lot. The other thing that's been on my mind a lot, I don't know, it was just like another quote, idea, thought about time. I feel like I've like seen it in a lot of different places, but that's what I get for trying to share two thoughts and sharing like too many thoughts at the same time. That's my problem. It's really hard to just like keep track of things sometimes. But as I was saying, just like practicing gratitude, I think will help me. I do realize I was like and now that I say that, I am realizing I was kind of grinding with the affirmations for a while, and I have not been the past few days, so maybe that's why I'm crashing a little bit. I'm not reminding myself all the things that I possess and I'm grateful for. I finally remembered, blah, blah, blah. So that actually reminds me of what I forgot earlier. Essentially, like the concept was just like being grateful for where you're at in your journey now, today, because this is the only time that you're going to have the life you have right now, and there are probably things to appreciate about it. So go ahead and appreciate those things, because life will change. Life does go on. Then you're going to have different things to love and appreciate in that next new season of life, and so on, so forth. You get the vibes. So that is probably another tool in my tool belt that I could be using a little bit more these days. I think I am just due to like grab my journal, grab my camera. I am working on compiling a little like to-go tin. My partner and I collect Pokemon cards, and one of them came in like a little lunchbox tin, so I'm using that as like my little to-go craft bin. I just need some like smaller paints and stuff, but I have like pencils and whatnot. But I also need a sketchbook. That is something I was going to pick up today, but then I got distracted by World Market now that I think about that. But we'll get to it when we get to it. Anywho, it is definitely time for me to just like grab my journal, my little hobby things, go out into nature, spend some time with the other animals and the sunshine and the fresh air and the dirt and the water and the things that are just really important to me, at least in this life, and maybe to you too, I hope. But yeah, I think that instead of jibber jabbering on this podcast, talking in circles, at this point, it's time for me to hop off and maybe work on getting at least some of those things done. I can at least go outside, sit on my patio and pet my dog. There's some fresh air and some animals right off the bat. Fill up my water bottle, drink some water, stay hydrated. Yeah, it's time for me to work on my good habits so I can recover from this burnout. And if you are burnout, know that you can do it. You have tools in your tool belt. It's normal. It's a harder part of life, but you are perfectly capable. You are so strong. I believe in you. You should believe in you. Tell yourself that you believe in yourself right now. I'm waiting. Okay. Yeah. Let's do the dang thing. We're gonna be this burnout babe. It's gonna be tough, but it's gonna be so worth it. And we're gonna be feeling better on top of the world in no time. We have to put in the work, real quick. And it doesn't have to be hard, but we do have to actually do it. All in due time. Slow and steady wins the race. Okay, that's enough cliches. I'm ready to get going. I hope you have the loveliest of days, and I hope to see you next week. Please subscribe, like, comment, whatever you're feeling. Just show some love. I love you so much. Thank you so much for being here. And until next time, bye, babes.